We are starting with Splunk now. Since you already know about SIM, this will be relatively easy for you to understand because most of the things um, are coming from SIM and SIM functionality. So before we start, can you quickly tell me what functionality, core functionality do you know about SIM?
Log collection,
Lock collection. Perfect. What next?
Correlation.
normalization,
Huh?
normalization,
Normalization. Okay.
Monitoring and dashboard.
Monitoring, dashboard. What else?
relation,
Correlation.
Huh?
correlation,
Correlation. Correlation. Okay.
Alert.
alerting,
Alert.
Alerting.
Dashboard and visualization,
Dashboard is there. Visualization.
retention, retention
Retention.
and storage,
Okay. Anything else?
reports and
Compliance.
compliance.
Reports. What else?
Compliance.
Compliance. Okay. Anything else?
Mm,
I believe almost all of them are there. Okay.
seven.
What
Point
about
to ask.
aggregation?
Huh?
Aggregation, like combining duplicate logs
Combining duplicate logs. Uh,
to reduce noise and save storage space.
Not really. If you want to call that as there is a specific term, removing duplicate records, right? Uh,
You mean like redundancy?
Redundancy, removing redundancy. So no, not that part. This is what we have learned. My question was what we have learned in SIM. I just wanted the core functionality. Okay. I have asked this question because now we are going to relate it with Splunk. Okay. Just making topic relatable and easy to understand. You should know what is Splunk, why are you learning this thing, what is this tool for, what purpose it serves. Therefore I asked this question. Okay, now let's understand Splunk with an example. Let's say your company has 10 computers. Okay, you are responsible for managing those 10 computers. Can you check what is happening on each computer manually? Let's say yes. 10 computers, you can manage it. Let's say the number increases to 1000 computers. Will you be alone able to manage 1000 computers?
No.
Practically impossible, right? Now let's take this number a step ahead, even bigger. What if Google, Amazon, Microsoft, such companies, they have more than 1 million servers running across the world? Can one person monitor each server? Obviously not, right? So how do companies know if there is any server crashing? How do they know if some application has suddenly stopped working? How will they know if someone is trying to hack their system? This is exactly why we have tools like Splunk. Okay, so Splunk is a SIM platform. I'll write it here. You already know what is SIM. So Splunk is a security information and event management platform. plus it is a data analytics tool. What do you mean by data analytics?
Analyzing
What does
data.
analyzing data? Data analytics tool, something which is going to help you analyze your data. Okay. Now, what is Splunk going to do? Splunk is a tool that is going to collect logs from different devices, store them in one place, and help us search or analyze, monitor, visualize those logs so that we can quickly identify our problems, security threats, or any system issues. Okay, I'll repeat this thing one more time. Splunk is a tool that collects logs from different devices, stores them in one place, and helps us search, analyze, monitor, and visualize those logs so that we can quickly identify problems, security threats, and system issues. One line definition for Splunk is like it is like a Google for your machine logs. Why do you use Google? For searching stuffs,
Yeah.
right? For identifying few things, whatever you like. So when you have machine logs, you need something like Splunk. Now students usually tend to forget this functionality, but when you remember Google as a purpose, you can always find it easy to define Splunk. It's Google for machine logs, simple as that. What does Google do? You type something and it is going to give you billions of web pages and answers to it, right? Similarly, when you type a query in Splunk, that Splunk searches millions of logs that are there within and it gives you a result within seconds. That is what Splunk can do. Okay, you already know what are logs, so I'm not going to jump onto that topic again. If you want, I can talk about it, but no need. You know what are logs. We have studied that in SIN few days ago. It's not long back. So where is this name coming from? Splunk. Splunk takes its name from a term called spelunking, which means exploring caves. Okay, just like spelunkers, they explore physical caves. Splunk explores data caves to uncover hidden insights. That is where that name is coming from, Splunk. There are multiple versions. Okay, we have Splunk. Now, Splunk is used in many companies. Almost every company, I will say. Not every company, but at least out of 100%, 60-70% companies they rely on Splunk. Rest other market standard tools, they're also there. Splunk is most widely used. There are multiple platforms. For example, there is Splunk Enterprise for on-premises environments. There is Splunk Cloud for cloud platforms for software as a services things. So regardless of deployment, this is a very powerful data platform tool which helps collect, analyze, and act according to the input given to it. Okay, some quick facts about Splunk. This was founded back in 2003, means almost 23 years ago, by Eric Swan, Michael Baum, and Rob Das. These were the three founders of it. There are almost 1,000 plus patents till date with Splunk. It's globally used everywhere. So no matter you work in Russia, USA, India, Nepal, anywhere, this will be a market standard tool. Many companies they use it. Okay, these were some fundamentals of the tool that you're going to learn. Now let's understand few things about Splunk. Suppose your company has 5,000 servers, 200 firewalls, there are multiple switches, databases, active directories. Each of them are generating logs every second. Imagine, for example, each of the device generates 100, 1000 logs per second. How many logs will that be? Can any human read 5 lakh, 10 lakh, or 10 million logs every second? No. This is where Splunk is becoming very useful. It automatically collects logs from this machine and makes it searchable. Okay. So you can directly relate these functionalities with the same functionalities. Therefore, I have kept it right next to it. Now there are components of Splunk. What do you mean by components? Do you know what is component?
Different parts.
Different
Different
features.
parts. Okay. Parts, features,
Features. Yeah.
nothing else. Let's consider parts only. Okay. Multiple parts which are going to make up a whole Splunk. Now suppose Amazon as a company receives 5 million orders every day. Okay, you know that is a online product company, right? So if Amazon is receiving 5 million orders every day, do you think one employee receives the order, one stores it, one packs it, delivers it? Can everything be done by one person
No.
and also answer your customer queries? No, right? Why not? Because one person cannot do everything. Similarly, Splunk also works in the same way. Instead of giving all the work to one machine, Splunk will divide this work among different components. Each component has a specific responsibility.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, let's understand what are the components of Splunk. I will start with forwarders. Before jumping on to Splunk, let's understand a simple architecture first. Okay, very simple. It is my whiteboard. This is like a one-liner architecture I'm giving you. Okay, don't deep dive into this. Just making it simple to understand. Collect the logs, parse it. What is the meaning of parse?
Forward or convert.
Hmm?
Forward it or conversion.
No.
To break down something.
Store. Yeah.
Mhm. Breaking down something or maybe processing something. I'll explain this term. Let me complete this one line first. Okay. Index, then there is search and search, and then visualize. 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 Now, collection, you already know. We're collecting logs from multiple sources. Log collection, same things. Okay, collection. Parse means after collection, are you going to process that data? Okay, so collection, parsing means kind of processing done on that data. Indexing means storing that data. After storing, searching that data. And after searching, visualizing that data. Visualizing means can be through maybe reports or visualization. Visualization like those pie charts, graph charts, anything like that. Seeing the results means visualization. Okay, so this is a simple one-liner architecture. How Splunk is going to work. Okay, note this thing down.
What is parse means?
Parse means processing of your data. Okay, now let's understand what are components of Splunk. Things will get more clear to you. Let's start with forwarders first. Forwarder. Is component clear to you? What does the term component means? Remember that Amazon example, okay? Now, suppose your company has 500 or 1000 computers. Each computer is generating thousands of logs. Now, how will these logs reach Splunk? There should be a mechanism, right? These 500, 5000 computers that you have in your environment, they are generating logs. Okay, understandable. But how are those logs going to reach Splunk, our tool? Are you going to copy them manually? Are you going to send email, transfer them somehow, airdrop it? No, right? So we need something that will automatically collect logs from each machine and send them to Splunk. That something is called as a forwarder. Okay, so a
So,
Splunk forwarder,
sorry, so is this something that you install?
yeah, it depends. Now there are different types of forwarders, so it depends. Okay, by default, it is going to send you the data forwarder. So a Splunk forwarder is a Splunk component first that is going to collect machine logs, machine data, and then forward this data to another Splunk instance. It can be indexer or anything else. The only purpose for it is collect logs. He's like a delivery person. Its only job is to collect logs from machine and send those logs to Splunk. It is not going to analyze those logs. It is not going to search the logs. It is not going to create dashboard or create alerts. Nothing. simply transfers logs from one place to another. Let me explain you with an example. Imagine Amazon. When you place an order, the delivery person picks up the package, right? And then he delivers it to the warehouse. Does that person check what is inside it? Will he decide what should be stored inside it? Will he sell that product? No. His only job is transportation. Same thing a Splunk forwarder does. Only job, transfer the logs from machines to Splunk.
Yeah.
Clear? Why do we need forwarders? What do you think? Why do we need it?
User said to
Because
collect logs.
yeah,
To avoid manual labor.
yeah, we
Yes,
cannot like collect all those logs manually.
correct. You have Windows servers, Linux servers, firewalls, routers, switches, database, web servers, applications, antivirus, Active Directory. I can go on and on. If there are so many things, how are you going to collect logs manually? Right? You need a mechanism. That mechanism is forwarder. Automation thing. It automates this process of manual transferring of data. Okay.
Sure.
Clear what are forwarders? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are two types of forwarders. First one is universal forwarder. I'll do it like this. Second one you have is heavy forwarder. Let's understand what these are. Now, the most commonly used forwarder is universal forwarder. If someone says forwarder in your Splunk environment, they are usually referring to the universal one. This is by default. So universal is a lightweight Splunk component, exactly opposite to that of heavy forwarder. Okay, heavy forwarders are heavy, universal forwarders are lightweight. Means they collect logs from source and securely forward them to Splunk. Okay. Now, for example, heavy forwarders, you can relate it to something like there is a small software agent installed on the servers, your desktop, computers, laptops, everything like that. They have very simple job. Collect the logs, send the logs. Collect the logs, send the log. That's it. So universal means this is lightweight for a reason. Why is it called lightweight? Can anyone tell me? Do you know what is difference between lightweight and heavy? It is going to use less resources. Do you have those applications? I don't know. Adobe Express Lite and Adobe Express something like that. Have you heard of these terms? Applications, they do have lighter versions.
Yes.
So these lighter versions are used because they use fewer resources. Not all the functionalities are there. It will be low on CPU usage. It will use less disk space, less RAM, less network overheads will be there. Therefore, it is called as lightweight. Okay. So what is universal forwarder going to do? It has tiny Splunk agents, which is going to sit on your machine. Agent means it is like a software that sits on your machine and it has only one job: collect the data and forward it. It is not going to analyze, not going to visualize, nothing, just forwards raw logs. Okay. Whereas the second one which you have, this is heavy forwarder. This is the smarter one. Is called heavy for a reason, because this is a instance, this is a full Splunk instance that not only sends your data but also parses it, filters it, and transforms it before sending it. Okay, understand the difference between both? One is just going to collect the data and send it, raw data, not going to play with it. Whereas heavy forwarder is like that senior intern in your company. Juniors, what they will do? They'll collect the information, send it. But seniors, they'll collect the information, they'll analyze it, they'll make changes, and then they will forward it, right? Same things your heavy forwarder will do. Whenever you have heavy or complex data which needs some cleaning or routing, that time heavy forwarders are useful. It is going to parse it. Parsement, it is going to process that data first before forwarding. Clear the difference between both? Yes, no? What about others? Okay. Suruchi, Manju, Sophia, Prasad, are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Let's continue. So this was forwarder and these were the two types of it. Now let's talk about indexer, the next component. Now you are collecting logs from machines. Okay, forwarder is doing that job for you. Let me uh, frame it with an example. Let's say you have a library. Okay, it has 1 million books. Someone says you go and find one book, which is called cyber security. How long will it take for you to find that book if they are not arranged properly?
Longer time. Long time
Longer
than
time.
when they're arranged.
Arranged, right? If there are 1 million books and they are just randomly thrown here and there in that bookshelf, how difficult will it be for you to find that cybersecurity book? Very difficult, right? It may take hours, may take days, depends. So how did libraries solve this problem? They arrange the books, they categorize them, they number them, they use shelves, right? Technical, non-technical, romantic, non-romantic, action, whatever genre you are referring to, they have categorized them properly, arranged them, numbered them. Same thing. Splunk has this same problem because every second when you are receiving millions of logs through forwarders, if Splunk is going to store everything randomly, searching would be very difficult, right? and it will be extremely slow if things are not arranged properly. Imagine Google data. It is not arranged. It is just random things here and there. You search about Splunk and it takes 3 days to search and give it back a response to you. Will you use that functionality ever? No. So Splunk organizes these logs before storing them. This is the job of indexer. Okay, refer to that architecture also, that one line architecture. You have collected the logs, you either play with it or you don't play with it, depends on the forwarder you are using. You collect the logs, you send it for storing purpose. Now that storing has to be done properly in Splunk. That is the job of indexer. So the Splunk indexer is the core component whose responsibility is to receive, parse, index, or compress that data, make it searchable in short. Because whatever you are storing, it should be searchable at the end of the day. So it's like the brain, it's like the warehouse of your Splunk. You're going to receive logs from forwarders, organize them properly, store them efficiently so that it becomes searchable. Without an indexer, Splunk cannot store or search any logs. Simple as that. I repeat, without indexer, Splunk cannot store or search logs. Let me explain with an example. Again, Amazon. Imagine an Amazon warehouse. Every minute, thousands of packages arrive, right? If workers, they simply throw package everywhere. Any package is going anywhere. On the floor, some of them are stuck on the wall. You are just throwing. What will happen? It will become messy. It will be difficult to find the packages. And eventually, the deliveries which were supposed to happen in time will be delayed. Exactly, instead of warehouse workers, they receive package, scan them, put labels on them, store them properly in a location, keep record of each package where it is stored. Later, when someone orders a product, they can find that product within seconds or minutes and deliver it. So, what is the main purpose of indexer? Storage. That is the only one part of its job, storage. But it has other several tasks as well. After storing, after receiving those logs, where is indexer going to receive logs from? Who's going to send indexer the logs?
Parts.
Parse.
Universal forwarder.
Forwarded.
I
Forwarders.
mean, forward. Yes.
Yes. Parse is like processing. I've added parse because of heavy forwarder. Okay, remember that thing. Or else I would have directly mentioned collect and then index in that architecture. Okay, so it will receive logs from universal or heavy forwarder, whatever it is, and it is going to store it. Okay. Another important functionality indexer will have is create an index.
Put him in the bathroom.
It is one of the most important responsibility. It is called indexer for a reason. You have books, right? Someone is on unmute. Hmm. You have notebooks. You have all been to school. You know what is the use of index page in your book. to find the topic, to jump onto the right page, right? That is another functionality. Maintaining that index. It creates an index. Now, what is the index? Like a chapter page number thing. Instead of searching every page, you directly can jump onto this log. So Splunk has similar index for logs. Instead of searching millions of logs one by one, it will use index to find that data quickly. Next functionality is compress the data. Compression. If company gives or company generates 5 TB of logs every day, can storing them without any optimization or without any compression make sense? 5 TB of data in single day. What about a month? What about 2 months, 3 months? Where will that number go? Doesn't make sense, right? Storage will fill up very quickly if you don't compress the data. So indexers, they will compress the data before storing it, which is eventually going to use less disk space. So this is going to help organizations save cost. Clear? So far, is it clear? What is the purpose of indexer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you relate this thing with this thing? This thing with this thing?
Yes.
Of course. That is another functionality, storing the data. How long do you want to store that data after compressing? It will be available to you for days, months, years, depending on your retention policy. Okay. And the last step or the last thing it does is making it searchable. Therefore, you use a language which we are going to learn called SPL. I'll talk about it later. So using this language, you are going to search whatever data is stored in indexer, which were given to you by forwarders. Are these two components clear? Crystal clear to you? Purpose?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let me erase few things. Let's arrange them properly. First one was forwarder. These are the components of forwarder. Next one was indexer. I'll keep it here, okay? Yeah, I haven't written the functionalities of indexer, okay? You know that. I hope you have noted it down. If you want, I'll repeat. Compression of data, storing of data, creating index, parsing that data, receiving logs from forwarders, and making it searchable. Okay, these few things come under indexer as a functionality. Now let's jump on to next component, which is called search head. Just a minute, something is wrong with my adapter. Give me a minute, okay? Okay, let's continue. Now we are talking about search head. What do you understand by search head? This term search head. What can it do?
Like search for anything, like you said, take Google as example. If we search for any of this information that was forwarded, indexed, and compressed, then it will follow the
Turn the
instruction
ball.
and
All
give,
the balls.
yeah, give the information.
Push them. Window.
Right.
No
So
escape.
suppose all the logs are stored, or they are already stored in the indexer. How are you going to find these logs? Right? Where do you type the query, that SPL thing, to search? That is where we introduce search head. Search head is nothing but a place where you are going to type queries and search for the relevant logs. It is an interface where we search logs, where we can create dashboard or generate any reports for our investigation. That is the purpose of search head. Okay. So technically, this component, this search head, it is going to provide user interface. Now, if these things are stored somewhere on indexer, the data, the logs which you have collected, if it is stored on indexer, you will need a mechanism, right, to search it. This is like a user interface. It's nothing like a head or something. It's just like a search panel that you get in that tool. Okay, let's keep it very simple. It's like a search panel that you get. You just have to type your queries here and enter it. It will process and give you the required output. So it is going to be a user interface to search whatever you have stored in indexer, or whatever your indexer has. To search that, you need search head. Okay, it receives requests from users, distributes them to the indexer, and then displays the result. That is what it does. So it's like a front end of Splunk. Indexer is going to be the back end where you're going to store the data. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys know about databases and uh, SQL right now. Do you know the SQL thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So you type SQL queries to fetch data from the databases, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing. Search head. You're going to type your SPL queries in the search head and you're going to fetch the data from indexer. This is where you search logs, create your dashboard, create any alerts, anything like that.
Is it similar to JPL in Jira?
JPL, yes, you can say so. Every tool they like have their own language. I don't know why they have complicated things, but you have there are so many relatable terms like
There's
SPL, SQL,
there's
KQL,
AQL, yeah.
KPL. There are so many terms. JPL. Everyone has their own processing language to search. Just syntactical difference. Purpose is same. Okay. So search head is going to provide you user interface. Let's write it here. Functionalities, user interface, where you're going to type, you're going to accept. This is going to accept search queries or SPL queries. Okay. And then sends this search request to whom? Where are this request going? To the indexer. So search head is acting like a middleman. User is typing the query which are to be fetched from indexer. So search head is going to be the middleman. Okay. And then it will display whatever search results you have. Whatever you have entered, if that matches the logs, if you have that logs relatable to that query that you have typed, it will fetch the results and give you. Okay. Creating reports, creating dashboards, these are basic functionalities. Creating alerts, these are basic functionalities of this. Simple as that. So these three, there are many more components, but these three, forwarder, indexer, and search head, whenever questions will come on Splunk, and if components are asked, these three should be the terms coming out of your mouth. Forwarders, indexers, search heads. These are the most important components
The compression
of
was
Splunk.
not one of the components, right? So it comes under index.
No, indexer, yeah, that is the
Okay.
functionality. Don't get confused between functionality and component, okay?
Okay.
Okay, forwarders, indexers, searchers. Any doubts in these three? Yes, no.
No, sir. Very well explained.
Now let's understand another component, which is license manager. Where do I write it? I'll write it here, okay? License manager. What does a manager do according to you?
Manage.
Manage what exactly?
It could be anything as a manager. Could be a manager
Uh,
of a store, could be a manager of anything.
if you'll ask me, I'll say manager doesn't do anything,
That also makes sense.
especially in companies. They just sit there, ask you for updates, and then take credits of your work. That's what manager does. Sarcastically said, okay, don't take it seriously. Let's understand what is license manager. Okay. Now, for example, um, can you use Microsoft Office or Windows forever without any license?
Not anymore.
No, not anymore, right? What happens if you use pirated softwares or any expired licenses? What happens?
Then you're vulnerable.
You are vulnerable. It may stop working anytime, right? Some of the features are not even there. It can show warnings. Splunk is a commercial tool. Okay, it's not a free tool. It's a commercial tool. It's a commercial software. Organizations, they have to pay in order to use this tool. They pay for Splunk licenses. That license determines how much data they are allowed to index every day. I repeat my sentence. Understand, focus on this thing. Most organizations, they purchase Splunk license, and that license determines how much data they are allowed to index every day. Index means what? Store every day. Relate this term exactly. Therefore, I have kept it here right below it. How much data are you allowed to store every day? Splunk does not charge based on the number of users it has. No. Splunk licensing is generally based on how much data is being indexed per day. For example, a company purchases a license for 10 GB per day. It can be 50 GB per day, 100 GB per day, 1 TB per day. So this means Splunk can index up to the amount of data under that license. Okay. So license manager in Splunk is a component which is responsible for managing these Splunk licenses. He is like that accountant. His job is to keep track of how much data is that company allowed to index, how much data is already indexed today, whether that company is staying in its license limits or not. That is the thing that license manager does. So it ensures that every Splunk server follows that license. You have mobile plan, right? Suppose your mobile plan gives you 2 GB internet per day. How do you know that you have used 1 GB or 2 GB? That mobile operator keeps a track of your data usage, right? Same thing, license manager works. Instead of tracking internet, you're tracking Splunk indexes every day. That's it. Clear?
Yes.
So what is the functionality of Splunk manager? Sorry, license manager. It will store the Splunk license. I'll write it here. Okay. It will distribute the license. Now what happens in large companies, there can be multiple indexers, right? Multiple search head, multiple heavy forwarders. So instead of installing the license separately on every server, license manager will share this license information with required Splunk instances only. So it distributes this license. Okay. Next thing it does is it monitors daily index data. So I'll write monitors daily data or monitors daily indexed data. I'll say indexed data. It will check the data that is used today, whether the organization is approaching the license limit or not, whether the limit has exceeded or not. So it will check all these things. Suppose a company purchased 100 GB of data, okay, and today's indexing is 140 GB. What do you think will happen?
They will be charged.
You will be charged. What else? It will record that as a violation.
Mhm.
Okay.
If
So
they purchase a certain limit of data, would
mhm,
they able to exceed? It will work. Like
yes,
they have okay,
it will work.
it will
Okay.
work. But yeah,
So what happens when the limit is exceeded? Will Splunk stop working immediately for them? Answer is no.
no,
Okay, Splunk does not usually stop indexing immediately after a single day overuse. Okay. However, your license manager, who's the manager, he records this violation. Administrator of Splunk who are managing this Splunk, they will receive warnings that your Splunk is being overused or your index is being overused. Repeated violations can lead to search restrictions. You won't be able to search few things until and unless that issue is resolved. So depending on the license type and the licensing policies, so it's recommended not to violate it. Okay, because if you are those users who take 1 GB of plan and keep on exceeding again and again and again, so there will come a time where you won't be able to search things. Even if you search, you won't get right results or the accurate results. Okay, so managing Splunk licenses, storing this information, monitoring this daily indexing volumes, tracking your license compliance, these are the responsibilities of license manager. Clear?
yes,
Any doubts so far in this 4?
No.
Okay. Now let's understand one more and then we will stop for the day. Okay. Usually when components are asked in interviews, I don't want to complex this tool. This is just a tool that you are learning. Okay. So if I talk about it, I can talk months about this tool. Months. I don't want to do that. Okay, we are going to keep it short, simple, easy to understand, easy to digest because this is something we are learning for the first time. Okay, being a non-technical person, I know how difficult it can be remembering this many things. I'm trying to keep it very short. Whenever questions are asked in interviews about Splunk, give a good definition and talk about components of Splunk. Now, which components? The famous component: forwarder, indexer, search head, and maybe license manager. That's it. Okay, because these are easy to remember. That is what I think. Anything complex you find in forwarders, indexer, search head, or license manager to understand? No, it's straightforward and very simple. Okay, so we'll take one more component as a backup and then we will stop. So we are talking about deployment server now. I'll write it here. Deployment server. Now suppose your company has only one universal forwarder. Okay, I'm telling universal forwarder, and you want to change its configuration. Do you think it is easy? There is only one forwarder. You want to change the configuration of it. Is it easy? Hmm?
No, it will not be easy.
Why?
Oh, because it needs a conversion. I mean, it needs resources, and it's only one, so there's
It's only
Maybe-
one. So what is the problem?
yeah.
You just have to change the configuration, right? Only one. You
Uh,
can do that. Now imagine if your company has 10,000 universal forwarders installed on 10,000 different servers. And tomorrow your manager comes and tell you change the configuration on all of them. Now
Yeah.
what will you do?
mm,
Now this will be difficult task, right?
okay. Yeah, many versus one. One
Yes.
is definitely easier. Yeah.
10,000 universal forwarders installed on 10,000 different servers. And your manager is telling you change configuration on all of them. 10,000 into 10,000. You do the calculation. You'll have to log into servers, and then will you really log into 10,000 servers one by one and change the configuration of all of them?
No.
No, right? This problem is solved by deployment server. We need deployment server because you have so many servers, right? Your company has, let's say, 5,000 Windows servers. There will be 3,000 Linux servers. There will be laptops, computers. Every machine has a universal forwarder installed. Remember that agent? Now company wants to monitor a new log file. What they will do? They will use deployment server. Without deployment server, admin would have to do these things manually in every server to change any configuration, to update few things, to maybe install a new Splunk app. Even you want to install Splunk on all the machines in your organizations. Are you going to do it manually one by one? No, you're going to use deployment servers. Without deployment server, it will take days, even weeks for you to complete that task. So he is like that central manager. Instead of configuring every universal forwarder individually, you can change once on deployment server, and deployment server will automatically distribute these changes to all universal forwarders, all the connected universal forwarders. Clear?
Yeah.
You want me to explain this again with an example?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's say you go to school. Okay. School has 100 classrooms and there are 5,000 students. Tomorrow, if the school timing changes, will principal visit every classroom and whisper into every student's ear that this is the change timing? No, right? What will principal do? He'll do the smart work. He'll inform teachers. That teachers will tell their students. This is how that message will reach everyone quickly, right? Deployment server works the same way. Another thing, another example. Suppose you want to send message to 500 people on WhatsApp. Would you send it one by one? No. You create a broadcast list. There is a function, right? Broadcast list in WhatsApp. Create a broadcast list. One message, send it to everyone. Deployment server is doing the same thing. One configuration can reach thousands of forwarder by making one change on deployment server. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about others? Is deployment server clear to you?
Yes.
Okay. So how this deployment server works, I'll tell you. There is admin, right? Admin will make the required changes. For example, let's say you want to monitor a new log file. So admin will make the changes. Instead of changing every forwarder, admin will update one change on deployment server. Deployment server is storing the configuration. He has the latest configuration. He'll store this latest configuration, and then universal forwarder, whenever he comes, he'll check the deployment server first. Deployment server does not push changes instantly like WhatsApp messages. No. Instead, universal forwarder periodically contacts this deployment server. He will ask, do you have any new configuration for me? Is there anything that you want me to change? If yes, deployment server sends him that update. And then the changes are made. Universal forwarders will apply this configuration wherever it is required. And immediately, whatever new log file you wanted to monitor, without any login or without making any changes, it will be deployed. So what can this deployment server distribute? Not only log files, configuration files can be there. It can be Splunk apps. It can be any updates, any input configurations, anything. So what comes for functionalities or responsibilities of deployment server? First thing, it will manage universal forwarders. Okay. Then it will distribute the apps. Distribute configuration files. It will send updates. Or technically it is reducing your manual work. Where do I get that shape? So that was deployment server for you. I'll make a box on the components that we have studied. Clear?